Dear students, so far we have discussed language. We discussed language in detail. We studied the definitions of language. We studied the characteristics of language. We studied human language. We studied animal language. And we compared the features of human communication and animal communication. We studied how language function in society, that is sociolinguistics. Thereafter we came to language variations and we studied dialect, idiolect, bilingualism and register. The first module of our discourse, the core course on language and linguistics, has come to an end. And now we have to commence the discussion of the second module from our core course on language and linguistics. The second module of this course is on phonetics and phonology. Today we begin our discussion of the second module, and for that we need the blackboard, or rather the whiteboard. Yeah, it's the whiteboard. And this lecture we are looking at the two terms phonetics on one side and phonology on the other side. We know that the very basic levels at which the functioning of human language can be studied are, of course, at the levels of phonemes and at the levels of morphemes. You know what phonemes are. We have studied all the phonemes in the previous years. You have studied it in your second year graduation, specialization of Bachelor of Arts in English and Literature. You studied it. Even at your school level, you studied what is phonemes, what are phonemes, what are morphemes. And we know that phonemes are the smallest units of speech sounds. You studied it repeatedly and you know phonemes are the smallest units of speech sounds. And when we combine, we connect, we join phonemes, we get the larger component of language, that is morpheme. And now we have these two terms here. Look at the whiteboard. You can see phonemes. What are phonemes? Phonemes are the smallest units of speech sounds. Example, per, b, per as in pin, b as in bin, per again as in pencil, pen, paper, b as in bin, bag, book. Likewise, if I ask you how many phonemes we have in English language, I'm sure you would say we have a total of 44 phonemes, which are further divided into vowels and consonants. But we are not going into the discussion of vowels and consonants today. Today we discuss phonetics and phonology. Once we understand what is phonetics and what is phonology, it's very easy for us to understand this particular course, which is very, very essential. A clear idea of phonetics and phonology is very, very important for all graduates of the English language and literature. And now we have a great chance to learn phonetics and phonology. And we understand that I told you, when we combine phonemes together, we get morphemes. And what are morphemes? Morphemes are the minimal units that carry meaning. You combine one phoneme with another and you combine more and more phonemes, you get larger units of language. You get morphemes. Here I have written two examples. One is see, the other is tree. Sir, the phoneme, plus E, the phoneme, give you see. And T, the phoneme, and R, the phoneme, and E, the phoneme, give you tree. And we have the sounds see, which means something. It gives you a meaning. But when you say sir, you don't get a meaning. So sir is a phoneme. What is a phoneme? The smallest units of speech sounds. And C is a morpheme. Tree is another morpheme. Why? We get a meaning. See, I see a film. I saw him yesterday. I see the sun in the east now. It's the morning. You get a meaning when you say see. You get a meaning when you say tree. A beautiful, large apple tree, completely covered in green leaves. There and here, a lot of mellowish, beautiful, fresh, juicy apple tree. An apple tree. Get an idea. This is the difference between phonemes and morphemes. And now we go further into our discussion of what is phonetics. The topic is phonetics and phonology. You have to compare and contrast phonetics and phonology. Phonetics, understand what's phonetics about. Phonetics, the very word come from phone. Look at the term phonetics. 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 Phonetics come from phone. You and I use phone. We depend on phone. Phone is a device. But understand, phone has an original meaning of a sound. Phone has the original meaning of sound. And now, of course, in your modern smartphone, you have, of course, sounds, visuals, everything you have, anything and everything we have. But we understand that phonetics, the very word, the very definition of phonetics comes from phone. What is phonetics about? Phonetics is about speech sounds. It's about the sounds we make, the smallest units of language. It's about the speech sounds. It's about the phonemes. Not just that. That's the very beginning of the definition. We to go more into the details, and I have written it here. What is phonetics? Phonetics is the study of, it is a study of, is a discussion of the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds. Now we have the definition of phonetics. What is phonetics? Phonetics is the study of the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds. How a speaker produces a phoneme, p, p, b, t, d, k, g. How does a native speaker produce the sound p? And phoneticians, linguists would say, yes, p, the sound is produced by a contact between the lower lip and the upper lip. Yes, both the lower lip and upper lip come to a contact, and there is a close contact. Yeah, air is kept inside the oral cavity, the mouth cavity. Pressure is made, so much of pressure is made, and the pressure is so high that you can't hold the air inside your mouth any longer, and you just separate. You are forced to. There is, of course, a plosion, and you have the sound per, right? You have the sound per, like in pen, paper, pencil. So what's phonetics about? Phonetics is the study of the production, transmission, that sound a speaker produces is transmitted to the listener. What happens to the sound as the sound is just passing through the air? And transmission, the second stage. Third, reception. What is phonetics about? Phonetics is about the production, the transmission, and reception of speech sounds. How a listener hears, listens to, receives the sound. Per, pen, pencil, potato, paper. This is phonetics. Phonetics is the study of the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds. Now we come to the second term, phonology. What is phonology? Both phonetics and phonology are different branches of linguistics. And you know what's linguistics? Linguistics is the scientific study of language. It is scientific study of language. And what does phonology, what does phonetics deal with? Phonetics deals with the production, transmission, and reception of speech sound. And what about phonology? Phonology is branch of linguistics which studies how languages group sounds together. Okay, phonology is that branch of linguistics which studies how languages group sounds together. Different languages. We have more than 6,000 languages today in the world. All these languages are not live, are not used. But we understand that there are, of course, 50,000 plus or 60,000, almost 60,000 languages used by people all over the world in, of course, Asia, Africa, Australia, America, and of course, all the different nations. And when you study the language English, you study the phonology of English. So what is phonology? Phonology is a branch of linguistics that studies the group of sounds or the group of elements of that particular language. So what do? We study the phonology of English. See, we don't study phonetics of English, we are studying the phonology of English. So what is phonology? Phonology is something that is particular. Phonology is something that is specific. Phonology is something that is, of course, very, very, very unique in the case of one language. We study the phonology of English. What are the speech sounds of English? What are the sounds of English? What are the vowel sounds of English? What are the consonant sounds of English? How are these sounds produced? What's special about each and every phoneme of English? That's what is phonology. So you can say that phonetics is something like general. Phonetics is the study of the production, transmission, and reception of sounds of all the languages of the world. Phonetics deals with, of course, how sounds are produced in English, how language sounds are produced in Spanish, how sounds are produced in German, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada. All right. So phonetics it's in fact an umbrella term. It's a bigger, broad, general term for the study of speech sounds, the production of speech sounds, the transmission of speech sounds, and the reception of speech sounds. Phonology, specific. Phonology is the study of a specific language, right? We are studying the sounds of English. We are studying the production and transmission and reception of the sounds of English. That is phonology. Okay? And of course, you can study the phonology of Malayalam, you can study the phonology of Spanish, you can study. So this is something like one side you have the world, the other side you have a country. So you study the world, you study about all the languages of the world, you study about all the countries of the world. That is phonetics. Like, okay, like all you're studying about all the languages of the world, it is phonetics. Study one language, that is phonology. So I hope now everybody understood the term phonetics and phonology. Phonetics is the study of the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds. Phonology is the study of the branch of linguistics which studies how languages group sounds together. So we have to remember phonetics deals with everything. Of course, that is of course general, but phonology specific. So with this, I conclude today's class. Next day, we will just go further into the topic that is, of course, phonology and how the speech sounds of English are produced. Thank you.